In beautiful North Yorkshire, in the pretty town of Kirby Moorside, lives auctioneer Angus Ashworth.
110, commission's out, 110 in the room.
Here he runs his auction house.
I am selling at £1,800.
With his devoted team of valuers.
Wow, this is amazing.
Auction clerks.
The electric shock machine. A few of my staff could do with this.
And removal men.
It suits you, that, you know.
Do you think?
Together they help people up and down the country clear their cluttered homes.
Oh my goodness, did all that come out of my house?
Yes.
Using his years of knowledge,
That's probably one of the most valuable 50p's there is.
Angus finds gems,
This is a fantastic collection.
heirlooms,
Oh, look at that. I think that's one of the best things on the job, that.
treasures,
That takes me back to being a 12-year-old boy, that does.
and the weird and wonderful,
We like horses, don't we? Wow. OK.
which he brings back to the auction house
It's the best silver in the world, isn't it? Yorkshire silver.
to put under his gavel,
65, 75, 85, 90, is it?
making them a tidy,
1,200, 1,300, 1,400 pounds.
little
£20,800.
sum.
I think I need a light done. Right, job done.
Over a fifth of the people who come through the auction house are returning customers.
I'm getting to feel like we live here.
Today, Angus is travelling an hour north to Darlington to help another familiar face.
Barney's all strapped in, you're not moving anywhere, are you, Barney?
And removals expert Pete is the perfect companion for this job.
Well, Pete, we've got a bit of a blast from our past. You're going to recognise the people we're going to go see.
He sure will, as they're off to meet Pippa and her daughter Rebecca,
They're starting to look like RAF targets.
who first called on Angus's help 2 years ago.
I met Angus when he came to clear my father's house in Wallsend, Newcastle. Angus was extremely good to me because I'd recently lost my father, and I just didn't know where I was going to turn to for help. At that time, I was carer for my husband, John. I met John through a very, very early computer dating agency. Long before the internet was even thought about. It was a case of filled in a questionnaire in a woman's magazine and posted it off. We just hit it off straight away. We got married in 1992. We were very happy.
But after 17 blissful years together, their lives were turned upside down.
In 2009, he had a major stroke.
I was about 10 years old. Me and my sister were the ones that had to call the ambulance. My mum was at work.
Unfortunately, it left him paralysed down the right side of his body. He was unable to talk. He couldn't read or write. And it was such a frustrating situation for him. And I became his 24/7 carer.
It was a very terrifying time because at that point I was a very big dad's girl. I loved him completely, and to see him like that, it was very hard. Obviously we had to focus on looking after my dad. So both me and my sister kind of grew up quite dramatically in a space of about 24 hours.
I am immensely proud of both of them. Incredible, because they have come through it with flying colours, and I am just so proud of both of them.
Just 7 months ago, John sadly passed away.
A person's spirit is always in your memories, and I've got a few photographs around the house of John. I tried to pick out the best ones.
I think she's been very, very strong, me and my sister. If we are resilient in our life, it's because of her.
Now Pippa and Rebecca are looking forward to a fresh start.
I've called Angus in this time because I need to have a clear out. I don't think of it as getting rid of it. I think of it as passing it on to somebody who will equally enjoy it.
And Pippa hopes to put any cash raised towards finishing off a memorial garden for John.
I recently had the garden landscaped, so I have very, very few plants out there at the moment. So I'm hoping, even if I only get £10, it will go towards putting plants into my garden. Good morning,
Hello.
Angus. It's very nice to meet you again.
It is, yeah.
And Pete too. Please,
Thank
come
you very
on
much.
in.
Thanks. Well, it's lovely to see you again after a couple
Yes.
of years. How is it that we can help this time?
This time, unfortunately, my husband passed away in May.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry to hear that, and because I think you're caring for him quite some
Yes,
time.
yes, I've been his carer since 2009.
It's been very tough to...
It was tougher for him than it was for me.
Yeah.
I've been having a clear out things that I haven't used for a lot of years.
So is it all sort of spread around the house, or have we got anything in here? Or?
There are, well, most of the things are in boxes in the front room upstairs and a bit in the loft as well.
Oh, okay. Well, we've always got to go in a loft, haven't we?
But there are 2 items in this room that could go. For example, the rug that is behind me.
Yep.
My husband bought that when he was on holiday many years before I met him.
Yeah.
I have never liked it.
Right.
When we moved to this house, I said to him, no, it's not going up on the
Okay.
wall. I
Yeah.
came home from work and it was there, so I've just put up with it ever since.
I guess that'll be first on the van then.
Behind you here, you will see that I have a gold disc from Chris Rea. It's Road to Hell.
Yeah.
My husband won that at a charity auction. It must have been over 30 years ago.
Chris Rea's Road to Hell was released in 1989. For an album to be awarded a gold disc in the UK, sales need to hit 100,000.
I'm not absolutely sure, but I am led to believe that that is an original, not a copy.
Okay.
But I can't swear that it is.
That'll certainly be of interest, yeah. Quite a lot of it's upstairs, is it?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
shall we take a look, shall we?
Yes, certainly.
Pete, do you want to get some boxes ready and... Yeah.
I'll go put on the kettle.
Sounds great. Thanks.
You're quite willing to open everything up and rake through it.
Okay, well, leave me to it. I'll have a good look through them and then me and Pete will get them loaded up on the van.
There looks like there's a lot in here, Angus. The question is, will any of it be good for auction?
Pippa and Rebecca have had a really, really tough time of it, and we want to do the best we can for them. Hopefully we can pick out a few bits that we can do something with and raise them a bit of money. We'll do what we can to help.
Sounds like a good plan, Angus. Pete, get that van ready. Now, what's this?
There's some bottles of drink, including a Highland Park whisky that was actually given to us 30 years ago when we got married, but it's never even been opened. So I'd like it to go to somebody who will really appreciate it.
So the whiskey could be a winner. And is this wine?
And there's something you don't see very often. It's always reminds me of my parents, that bottle of Madeira. It's sort of like a sweet port, really. I mean, the whiskey will sell on its own, and then we do these 5 bottles as a lot.
A good find. Every little helps. And there's more.
A box here full of old coinage, and most of it is commemorative crowns, copper, you know, not particularly high value. It's all really one lot. Huh. There we go. And then in among it all is a sovereign. Gold Elizabeth II sovereign. The year 1966. Well, we know why that's famous. Of course, it was the one and only time that England won the World Cup, and we've never let anyone forget it. You do find that people buy things to commemorate events. They might not necessarily be a commemorative item, but it relates to that year when something special happened, whatever that special thing may be. And, you know, the whole box is probably worth 30, 50, 40, 60, but one coin in there, that's £270, £300 right there.
Jackpot. Potentially a nice chunk towards Pippa's new garden then. Best start getting these bits on the van.
Pete,
Yeah.
you ready? I'll show you what there is. Right, most of it's in here, Pete.
Okay.
So it's all what's here, basically.
Leaving Pete to do what he does best, Angus ventures into the loft.
I mean, there's something that we all love about a picnic set, isn't there? You know, they've been around in the same form for a long, long time. You know, the Victorian period and later the Edwardian period, the mid-20th century. And over the years, you know, the contents sort of changed. These are all in Tupperware rather than sort of ceramic, and these are sort of plastic, but in principle it's the same.
John liked to go out on picnics and hiking, but it's things that I don't particularly need or use.
There's something about a wicker basket, isn't it? I don't know, it just makes a picnic feel very British. And I can guarantee somebody will buy that thinking of that dream of the summer on the North Yorkshire moors. You never know what you're going to find in an attic. Model kits here, so a bit of Star Trek Enterprise.
John was a big Star Trek fan. He absolutely adored Star Trek.
I mean, I remember watching Star Trek with my dad quite a bit. It kept him occupied, probably kept us both occupied when I was younger as well.
There's loads of people that love Star Trek out there, so they're going to be very saleable. We'll certainly get a few boxes out of here.
Let's begin gathering these bits up then. All you need now, Angus, is some extra muscle.
You all right there?
Yeah, I'm fine, Pete, I'm fine. Quite heavy, these, Pete, all right.
Yeah, OK, just go for it.
Oh, heck. You all right with that?
Yep.
Let go.
Yep. Oh, I see what you mean. You all right? You sound out of breath. You still there? Can't see any movement.
After a sweaty and panty 30 minutes, the lads managed to lower the rest of the boxes out of the loft.
Wow, I never thought I'd have my hands on a gold disc.
And now it's the final push to get the last of Pippa's collectibles onto the van. And with that, the job is done. And Pippa's cherished possessions are ready to be shipped to Yorkshire.
We're all done, we're all loaded up.
Excellent.
We're ready to hit
Thank
the
you very much.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back at the sale room. It'd be nice to have you
Definitely,
back.
and I'm looking forward to going. Well, it's been very pleasurable. I've enjoyed meeting Angus and Pete again, and it's nice to see a little bit of empty space.
Yeah, I think today's gone really well. So you can just focus on looking after yourself for once.
Exactly. It's about time I did.
Pippa and Rebecca have been absolutely great, and you know, it's about just making that next step for them. And there's a few interesting bits we're taking back. There's a bit of work to do when we get back. Of course, I've never sold the Chris Rea gold disc, so there's a bit of research to do there.
Nothing like an auction house first to pile on the pressure, eh, Angus?
All right, Angus.
Yeah, good, you all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
The next day, Angus and specialist valuer Jack are in
Some interesting bits.
to start cataloguing all of Pippa's things, from unwanted whiskey to jewellery, as well as John's old vinyl collection. But his Star Trek memorabilia has been passed to model specialist Nick for closer inspection, and senior valuer Chris can't resist a peek.
Oh, it's got some nice, interesting things. I'm assuming most of this is from like 1980s and 1990s.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, there's a little bit of corgi, so that's one of these limited edition.
It's quite a nice model, to be fair, actually.
It's supposed to give that kind of pewter effect, so, you know, it's like a slightly higher class sort of model.
Well, they are a bit shiny, aren't they? I don't think, yeah.
Shiny. I like shiny models.
So it's going to be your Star Trek collectors rather than your model and toy collectors?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a model maker, but I wouldn't necessarily want to build an enterprise. It's not my kind of area.
Yeah. I do like this, the communicator there. That's quite good.
Yeah, these are my favourite.
Is it working? Oh, Mum's calling.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It is working.
Klingons on the starboard bow. Better wipe them off. Basically, it's like a flip phone, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
These science fiction people just thinking outside the box and coming up with basically future inventions, which is what they've done with that.
Yeah.
Communicate.
Well, I've boldly got to go to another place, so live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper yourself, then.
All these bits will make up 3 lots come auction day, potentially bringing in up to £170 between them all. After making the hour's trip down from Darlington,
Let's see what we can get sold today.
Yes, indeed.
Pippa and Rebecca have arrived in Kirby Moorside.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome back. I mean, we've got quite a few people watching online, and I think that the Sovereign being 66, obviously, sort of World Cup year, we'll give it a little bit of added interest. So.
Indeed. And I didn't even know we had that in the house.
Oh, good. Well, that's a bonus then, isn't it? Should we go in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here we go again.
They've got a modest 24 lots in today's sale.
All the Star Trek stuff.
And any money raised will be going towards that garden memorial for the much-loved and missed John.
And there's that rug.
Oh, yes.
I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I just put up with it.
But letting go of most of the family treasures won't be easy, as each one holds its own special memory.
I think it'll be a little bit more emotional seeing this stuff go. Definitely the Star Trek stuff. Eve really loved it and watching that religiously. I think that's probably what most reminds me of me and my dad.
It was a Star Trek nut.
You know, it'd be emotional for both of them, but I think it's about that next step. It's been quite a long road for them, you know. I think as much as anything, this is kind of bringing the chapter to a close.
The auction house is filling up, and some collectors have already left bids with Angus, known as commission bids. And keeping a tentative eye on those checking in online today are Jasper and Jack. And we've got Sam on portering duty. Are we ready, Angus?
Right, we're on.
Kicking things off,
The Gold Sovereign, but not just any Gold Sovereign. 1966. Something very special happened that year.
We won the World Cup.
Did we? Oh, I've never heard it mentioned.
Angus would expect a regular gold sovereign to fetch about £280, but he reckons this one could get more.
We've got 290, 300, 320, 330, 330 pounds. It's out. Looking for 340. 340. Anywhere is it now for the 66 sovereign? At 300, 340. Commission's out. At 340, 360 it is. Then at 360, that year's made all the difference. At 360 pounds.
They think it's all over. It is now.
Excellent.
It certainly is, Pippa. That's a fantastic start. Next up is the picnic hamper.
Look at that, all good to go.
I remember using that as a kid.
Yes.
Having picnics out in the park.
Sometimes just on the back lawn.
£15 I'm bid, thank you, 15 a bid. 18, we're off, 18 a bid. At £18, at £18 I'm selling at 18, 20. £20 I'm bid, at 20 it is then at £20, 22. At 22 for the picnic set at 22.
Now for that rug. John bought it while on holiday in Tunisia, years before meeting Pippa, I should add.
The rug.
We've got 2 commission bids. We're at £25. At 25 it is then at £25. At 25. At 25 it is then. At £25 it is then. 28 in the room. Commission's out in the room. 32 I've got on the net now. 35, sir. It's a lovely rug. Look at it. Beautiful. Where is it? Where is it? This is. Look at this. Good quality, good thickness to it. Look at that.
You get an A for effort, Angus, but will it pay off?
35, thank you, sir. £35.
Yes.
At 35 it is then. Oh, I've got 38. Rounded up to 40. No.
He's out.
It is then at £38. We're all done net bid for this lovely rug at £38. Thank you. And I've got one very happy vendor.
The rug might not have been to Pippa's taste, but a bidder in Shropshire sure liked it. Next is a lot of John's Star Trek memorabilia, including the communicator.
Where should be for this? I've got 25, 8, 32, 5, 8, 42, £45 it's at. 45, 48, 50, £50 a bid. At 50 it is then at £50. All done, gavel up.
This lot beams up to its new owner in North Yorkshire. After Angus sells the other 2 lots of John's Star Trek collectibles,
At £30. Gavels up at £32.
It's sad that that one's gone, to be fair.
he moves on to that bottle of Highland Park whisky, a wedding gift to Pippa and John 31 years ago.
Ooh, we drum might need one of these at the end of today. 32, 5, 8, 42, 45 pound and bid, 48, 50, 50 pound at 50 it is then. 5, 60, 60 and bid at 65, 65 pound, 70, 70 bid at 75, 55, 75, selling away at 75 pounds. 75, thank you.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
The whisky goes for £15 over its estimate. Cheers, Angus.
Not bad, yeah.
Over the next 10 minutes, Angus flies through 18 more lots, including a selection of various wines plus the bottle of Madeira,
52 pounds
an 18-carat gold cluster ring,
at 95 pounds.
and 50 of John's old vinyl records.
I'm selling it at 170.
Wow.
And now for the main event. It's an item Angus has never sold before. It's the Gold Disc Award for Chris Rea's 1989 album, Road to Hell. All eyes are on you now, Angus. Good luck.
We open at 140. At 150, 160, 160, 160 it is then. It's a classic, isn't it? There we go. At 160. At 170, 180. At 180, at 180 pounds. Any advance? Last call for Chris Rea at 180 pounds. I'm selling then at 180 pounds.
That's pretty good.
That's very good.
Very happy with that.
The first gold disc to go under Angus's gavel has been sold to a bidder in Devon.
Well, that's the last of our lots.
Yep, that seemed to go pretty well.
It's been a successful day for Pippa and Rebecca, as all of their items have been snapped up by new owners. But have they raised enough to create Pippa's dream garden in memory of their beloved John?
Hello.
Hello again.
You all right?
Yes, thank you for all your hard work.
The sovereign, I mean, just the fact it was 66
Yes.
as opposed to 67
Yeah.
made the difference of about 80 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had it.
Oh, I'm glad we found it then. Well, I'm pleased to say we've covered your budget for your plants because you'll be taking home £1,395.
Wow.
That'll get me plenty.
That definitely.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Oh, there's the disc. Yes.
You know, it's lovely that they've come back and used us again. So to get some really good results for them, it has been fantastic. And, you know, they're going away very happy.
Now that everything's sold, I think now it's time for Mum to focus on herself a bit more. She spent the last, 10, 15 years looking after everybody else, and she deserves some of that care now.
I'll try to.
At the auction house, no sooner has one sale ended than a new house clearance beckons.
Real. Oh, there you go.
We might leave you on the punch for this one.
That'll do for me.
The boys have been called to a job in London.
You're the...
Only time will tell if those streets really are paved with gold.
Oh, Jack, long drive.
Very long drive.
Angus and Jack are heading to Twickenham, a few miles southwest of the capital.
It's the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life, driving through London.
They're answering an SOS from retired golf professional David and housewife Gillian, who first met more than 70 years ago.
I was obviously quite young, 22, and I had a car.
You gave me driving lessons, I think.
I did?
Yes. Well, that was an excuse, yes.
Now in their 90s, Gillian and David have been married for a remarkable 68 years.
The things I love about Gillian is her quiet, calm attitude to life. She's absolutely marvellous.
He's got a good sense of humour and he loves his family and cares for us very well. We've been very lucky indeed.
Although the couple have had health issues in recent years, their daughter Janet has always been close by and recently moved back in with Mum and Dad to help out.
I enjoy being with them. They're great fun. And I think we work well together.
Yes.
You know, we
Oh,
have
yes.
quite a banter. And
Well, I eat all the food.
But for this close-knit family, exciting plans are afoot. Because Janet's husband, Stefan, is currently renovating a large home in rural France.
Now the house is in a condition that we can all move into, and we hope to live together, well, the four of us in France.
We are looking forward to going and having a whole load of fun.
The big move is planned for later this year. In the meantime, Gillian and David are looking to offload a few of their treasures to help smooth the clear-out process.
We've got a lot of china, a lot of golf and memorabilia. We've got chests of drawers. We've got a Welsh dresser.
Here we are, look.
Ah, yep, that's it there.
Right.
We thought Angus would be a perfect person to come down and help us to evaluate the treasures, and that what were treasures to Mum and Dad could then be treasures for other people.
People, yeah.
Ah, look at that.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing? You all right?
Lovely to see you.
And you? I brought Jack with me.
Hello,
Nice to
Jack.
meet you.
Please
Thank
come
you
in.
very much, thank you. Oh, there we go, we've made it.
Long drive down.
How is it that we can help today?
Both their healths, you know, are not the best.
Not good.
So why don't we try and adjust our lifestyle to make the best of their lives, which we can do, you know, in France.
So really, if we can thin you out a little bit and get you ready for that next step of
Yes.
that move.
That would be perfect,
Less
yes.
for us to worry about.
Well, I suppose we best have a look and see what we can do.
Lovely.
The first assortment of goodies have been laid out in the dining room.
So we've had a bit of a sort out. The china there is this complete set of 6. It was given to my parents on their wedding day.
Oh, okay.
Lots of bits and pieces that we have no idea of any value.
There's probably a mixed bag there, isn't there? You know, some bits are better than others and some will have to as a group lot. But I think, you know, certainly we can... There's a fair amount that would be fine to go.
This lot looks like a job for Jack. While for Angus, the treasure hunt continues.
I like that.
So this is my mum's. Her aunt gave it to her when she passed away. Now, my aunt used to travel backwards and forwards to America on the Queen Mary.
Wonderful.
And she had a friend called Mr. Pimley, who was the head steward.
Okay.
Although primarily a passenger liner running the Atlantic crossing from Southampton to New York, the RMS Queen Mary was also used by the Royal Navy during the Second World War.
When they refitted the Queen Mary for the troop ship in 1939, Mr. Pimley gave it to my aunt.
I like that. And that's something that doesn't need to go to France, is it? Yeah.
We haven't got, unfortunately, any room for it.
We were delighted to take that. Yeah, I like that.
In the room next door are some personal treasures from David's career.
So here's things that my dad's collected over the times he was at the Ryder Cup.
Wow.
You can see there's a welcoming dinner with his name in and the menus. There's the score sheets that he would have had to fill in as a referee.
This unique set of memorabilia was collected over several decades because as a golf pro, David refereed at the Ryder Cup in the 60s, 70s and 80s.
I had a most fantastic time meeting loads of wonderful people, influential, great champions. I think every day was a highlight of my career.
David finally hung up his clubs 6 years ago and now, aged 92, is ready to let them go.
Well, Janet said there was a few golf clubs, but this is a lot. The trouble with golf clubs is, generally speaking, most modern clubs now, we don't get anything for it, but it's the really early golf items and memorabilia that make the money, and they're the bits that the collectors are after.
While Angus sifts through the rough, his faithful caddies still stuck in the clubhouse.
So we've got this lovely Wedgwood Ashford dinner set here. Now, Wedgwood is one of the big well-known names in British ceramics and porcelain. They're well known for their blue and white jasperware design, which has sort of Greco-Roman figures on them.
Jasperware pottery was developed by Wedgwood in the 1770s, and its neoclassical designs were a huge hit in Georgian Britain. This 49-piece dinner set, however, is in Wedgwood's Ashford pattern from the 1950s.
Unfortunately, they're not as popular as they once were. A lot of people don't have dinner sets as much because they don't have dinner parties. But some of them still keep a fairly decent value. A sort of rough estimate on this would be 40 to 60.
Back upstairs, Angus fancies a closer look at that chest of drawers.
Absolutely love this, because this is very much in the style of campaign furniture, and campaign furniture dates back right to the Georgian period. It was furniture made for travels, basically. Quite often you'll see on some campaign furniture brass corners so that they wouldn't get bashed when you were packing them in. Straight sides, it was easy, you could fit them in. It was a practical piece of furniture. We believe this to be from HMS Queen Mary, and it just harks back to the golden age of steaming and shipping, and it was a different world, wasn't it? And actually, not all that long ago, really.
While starting the clear-out is today's top priority, a decent windfall of cash would help the family enormously.
Mum, bless her, she's been diagnosed with osteoporosis. She's been told she needs a new knee because the bones are rubbing together. So anything that we raise will go towards a new knee op, which will then give Mum a whole new lease of life.
Even for a man of Angus's experience, helping to fund a new knee operation is certainly a first. So what's the verdict?
It's a real mix. You've got all sorts. Jack's busy packing up all those smalls, so it'll be interesting to see what he's found. I'd be delighted if we could raise enough money for that new knee operation. So we'll see what we can do.
For now, though, Angus's main mission is Operation Van Load.
From Southampton to New York to Twickenham to Yorkshire. Thank you.
With the last of the items safely on board, it's nearly time for the boys to hit the road.
Right. We're all done. We're all loaded up.
Oh,
Lovely,
well done.
thank you.
Yeah. And a few bare walls, but...
Yeah, oh, I don't have to
Well,
worry.
we've made a start.
Yes, we
And
would
in
have to do it in
6
the
months'
autumn.
time, are you coming back to clear the house?
Well, we'll see what we can do. Right, well, I'll see you on sale day, and just thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you very much.
Lovely.
No.
Thank you for
you
coming.
very much.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
David and Gillian are in their 90s, and they're going to emigrate to France. That's credit to them. It really is a new chapter in their lives, even at this stage, and I think Janet's been an absolute trooper, fantastic daughter. There's some good bits in there. I think, you know, get it all back, get it lotted up, and hopefully we'll be getting a new knee.
That'll do.
David and Gillian's eclectic assortment of treasures and golfing goodies have arrived back in Kirby Moorside. Let's see if Pete knows his birdies from his bogeys.
Wooden ones? Yeah, wooden ones. Some nice pieces. I mean, I know they're not great sellers, but it's a nice piece. Yeah.
As well as the golf gear, Angus took 5 pieces of furniture that caught his eye, including this turn-of-the-century carved oak chest.
Yeah, it's nice carving on it.
Yeah. Right, yeah. That is nice, that.
It's one of more than 100 individual items that will need to be photographed and lotted up before sale day. Among the haul, something has piqued Jack's interest.
So we've got David and Gillian's lovely skeleton clock here. Now, skeleton clocks were quite popular during the Victorian period, and they are really lovely to look at. I mean, you can actually see the full working mechanism compared to when it's in a cased clock. This one is quite sweet, though. I mean, it's a 20th century piece. All these cogs would have probably been made by hand, and that's a lot of workmanship gone into doing these types of pieces. Now, what is interesting about this one clock is the dome's incorrect. I'll just put it right to there so you can see this is actually of a square form here, and the original piece wouldn't have been, because as you can see here, it's more of an oval shaped piece. So unfortunately, this isn't the original glass cover. It's quite common. You know, these can be broken very easily, unfortunately. But it's still a lovely item to look at. And I'm sure Gillian and David have had a lot of fun memories of it just going every hour on the hour.
David and Gillian have stayed at home today, so Janet's brought her daughter Chrissy up from London for the auction.
Hi.
Are you all right?
Fine, thank you.
Good trip up to Yorkshire?
Not too bad, yeah.
And how's it sort of feeling in the house? Because obviously a lot of stuff's gone now.
Well, we've got nowhere to put cups of coffee or glasses of wine. It's like boxes now.
Yeah, it's very
so
empty, isn't it?
It is a bit empty.
Well, why don't you come in, have a look round, and I'll see you up on the rostrum.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank
Please.
you.
Thanks.
Wow, look at all this stuff. Oh, there's the Welsh dresser.
It's great that Janet's brought her daughter Chrissy with her to sort of support her today, and it's a great day out, isn't it, mother and daughter, and hopefully, they're going to go away smiling, and we've had some great results to them.
That's his tie when he was a referee.
I really hope his golfing memorabilia sells well, because that's very much her dad, and it'd be nice that that finds a good home. But actually, I think potentially the lots that could do quite well are the two chest of drawers. One is a proper antique, I love it, but we will see.
I think we're really excited because it's the start of an adventure. It's not the end of something. In a way, it's the beginning. We're looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, seeing him in action.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are 37 lots up for grabs today, and with web wizards Emma and Claire tracking internet bids, David and Gillian's treasures are in safe hands. Gary's back in the cap to show off the goods, and the man in tweed is warmed up and ready to roll. Here we go, folks. It's auction time.
Would you believe it? My pen's run out.
Angus is kicking off with the 49-piece dinner set in Wedgwood's Ashford pattern, a wedding gift to Gillian and David in 1955.
It's a big, comprehensive set. I know people don't use them as much now, but it's a lovely set.
It is.
There we go. 30, I'm bid at £30. We're off at 30. At £30 it is. Somebody's going to love this. At £30, at 30 it is. Then at £30.
Bought by a local right here in Kirby Moorside. Next on the T is the mixed lot of David's Ryder Cup memorabilia, including ties, blazer badges, towels and dinner menus.
Tell you what, the menu. He had a good time.
Yeah, he did have a good time.
Yeah.
Several times he had a good time.
So, did you take your wife? No. Strictly work. Yeah.
Yeah.
35, 38, 38, let's be on now. £38, great little lot of memorabilia. At 38, 40, £40 a bit at 40, £40 a bit at 40. At 42, 58, £48. 48 it is then at 48, 50, 50 a bit. 5 is it now, surely. 55 is it now, 55 it is then 65, £65. At 65 it is 70. At £70 it is then at 70. We're all done at 70. Going to sell then at 70.
Snapped up by a fellow golf enthusiast in Greater Manchester.
But it'll go to somebody who wants, that sort of memorabilia, golfing memorabilia.
So will Angus knock things out of the park with David's vintage wooden clubs? There's a dozen in the lot.
£20 start me. They're quite cool. You can make a nice feature out of them, or £20. £20, surely. £20 for these at 20. Got to be worth that 20. Golf Pros clubs at £20 at 20. At £20 at 20 it is then at £20.
The clubs will be saved for a future sale. Let's hope Angus can get the auction ticking again with Jack's favourite item, the early 20th century brass skeleton clock.
Ooh, yeah, we like this. There we go, 80, 100, 150, £150 it is then. At 150, we're all done for the skeleton clock with a single fuse E movement. At 150 it is then. I'm going to sell at 150.
This old-timer's heading back down south to Surrey.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah.
Now, this is an interesting chest. There's a bit of paperwork in there. There we go. Believed to have come out of
Queen Mary.
The Queen Mary. Yes.
Because your relative had a thing with the chief steward or something, was it?
So we understand.
Friends.
A friend, sorry. I didn't mean to insinuate,
Friend of the family. Yes.
Lovely thing there, isn't it? And I've got a couple of bids on this.
The piece draws some fierce competition.
At £210.
And sails off to a new home in West London. Then, over the next half an hour, a further 30 lots come under the gavel, including a collection of 8 coins featuring a William III crown from 1695.
Then at £140, 140.
2 hallmarked silver golfing trophies, together with some silver spoons.
At 130.
And a mixed lot of ornamental eggs and bookends cut from quartz and other minerals.
£90 it is, then at £90 at 90.
Wow.
Which brings Angus to the final lot of the day, the turn-of-the-century antique carved oak chest of drawers.
This is nice, isn't it? I go straight in at 40, £40 a bit at 40 it is, then at £40 at 40. 40... That's a bit cheap, really, isn't it? 110, 110, at 110, 120, 130. £130, lovely chest it is at 130. At 140, 150, 150. At £150 it is then for the chest. 160, 170, 170. It's a good chest, this. At 180, 190, 190. At £190 it's out then. At 200, 210. 210 it, 220, 230, 240, 250. 260, 270, 270, 280, 290, 300, 320, it's racing away. 360, £360 it is then at 360. We're all done at 360. Gavel is up. I'm selling at 360.
A cracking end to a corker of an auction. Janet was hoping to make enough to contribute towards her mum Gillian's much-needed knee operation. So, will she and Chrissy be taking some happy news with them back to Twickenham?
You all right?
Yeah.
Good, you look to be enjoying it.
Yeah, it was great. It's so fast though, isn't it?
Everyone says that, it's like...
Then all of a sudden things pick off and it's going and it's going and it's going. It's just amazing.
Was there any sort of particular lot that really sort of surprised you? Or?
The chest,
Yeah,
the
wow.
dark chest,
Yeah.
which, you know, it's just been sat in the corner.
Yeah.
And
It's very pretty though, isn't it? I mean, the beading and everything on it.
OK, well, you'll be taking £1,363.
Wow, that's amazing.
that's good, isn't it?
So it's sort of half a knee.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. No, they'll be really pleased.
Oh, they will be really pleased.
Thank
Wow.
No problem, you're very welcome.
Hello.
The auction's all finished now.
Yes, I've been following every single bid online. Very good.
Well, Grandad, everything made.
Just over 1,300.
Oh, good. That's very good. Very good.
Everything's having a new life, which is wonderful.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
The important thing was, for me, actually, his golfing memorabilia has all sold and sold really well, and that's going to go to people that are going to appreciate it. But that antique chest, I mean, for me, that's what it's all about. I'm passionate about the antique things, and it's an old thing, and it deserves to sell well, so it's always a delight when it does.